Episode 1. The 10 Money Lessons That Can Change Your Financial Future. Imagine waking up 10 years from today. You check your bank account, and instead of feeling stressed, you feel calm. Bills are paid. Investments are growing. You have choices. You can travel, spend more time with your family, or even take a break from work if you choose. Now imagine the opposite. You wake up to the same alarm clock, the same financial worries, and the same feeling that no matter how hard you work, you're never really getting ahead. Here's the surprising truth. The difference between these two futures often isn't luck. It isn't winning the lottery. And it isn't necessarily earning a huge salary. More often, it's the result of small financial decisions repeated consistently over many years. Welcome to Money Mastery, where timeless financial wisdom meets practical action. In today's episode, we'll explore 10 powerful money lessons that can help you build a stronger financial future. These ideas aren't magic formulas or get-rich-quick promises. They're practical principles that have helped millions of people make smarter decisions about money. By the end of this episode, you may begin to see your income, your spending, and your future in a completely different way. Let's begin. Blank. Introduction. Money is part of almost every decision we make. It influences where we live, the opportunities we can pursue, the experiences we enjoy, and even the amount of stress we carry every day. Yet most of us spend years learning mathematics, science, history, or literature without ever receiving a real education about personal finance. Many people believe that becoming wealthy simply means earning more money. But if that were true, every highly paid professional would automatically become financially independent. Reality tells a different story. We've all heard about athletes, celebrities, or entrepreneurs who earned millions of dollars but eventually lost everything. At the same time, many ordinary people quietly build comfortable financial lives without earning extraordinary incomes. So what's the difference? It's rarely about income alone. It's about habits. It's about decisions. And most importantly, it's about mindset. Financial freedom isn't built in a single day. It's built one decision at a time. Every dollar you earn represents a choice. Spend it, save it, invest it, or use it to create something that generates even more value. Think of your financial life like building a house. Every smart decision is another brick. One brick doesn't seem important. But after thousands of bricks, you have a home that can protect you for decades. Today's 10 lessons are those bricks. Let's start with the first one.
Lesson 1. Wealth begins in your mind. Most people believe money creates confidence. In reality, confidence often comes first. Every great financial journey begins with a simple belief: my future can be different from my present. People who build wealth don't spend all their time asking, how can I buy this? Instead, they ask, how can I create enough value to afford this? That small change completely transforms the conversation. Imagine two friends walking past the same beautiful house. The first says, I could never afford that. The second says, I wonder what I would need to build in order to own something like that one day. The first closes the door. The second opens one. Your mindset determines the questions you ask. And your questions determine the opportunities you notice. Every successful investor, every entrepreneur, every financially independent person, started by changing the way they thought before changing the size of their bank account. That's why wealth always begins in the mind long before it appears in the wallet.
Lesson 2. Your income can grow, but your habits matter more. Imagine receiving a 20% salary increase tomorrow. How would you use it? Many people immediately think about a bigger apartment, a newer car, better vacations, or the latest technology. There's nothing wrong with enjoying life. The problem begins when every increase in income is matched by an increase in lifestyle. Financial experts often call this lifestyle inflation. The more you earn, the more you spend. Before long, you're earning more than ever, yet saving no more than before. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. No matter how much water you pour in, the bucket never fills. Instead, successful wealth builders often follow a different approach. Whenever their income grows, they increase their investments before increasing their lifestyle. Even small amounts invested consistently over many years can grow into something remarkable. Remember, building wealth isn't about looking rich today. It's about becoming financially secure tomorrow. In the next section, we'll discover why the things you buy can either build your future or quietly hold you back.
Money Mastery, Episode 1 Part 2, Lesson 3. Buy assets before luxury. Imagine two people who both receive a bonus of $10,000. The first person immediately buys a luxury watch. It looks impressive. Friends admire it. For a moment, it feels like success. The second person makes a different decision. Instead of buying something that loses value over time, they invest the money in assets that have the potential to grow or generate income. Fast forward 10 years. The watch is older, worth less than it once was, and sitting in a drawer most of the time. The investment, however, may have grown through appreciation, dividends, or reinvested returns. This illustrates one of the most important principles of wealth building. Many people buy symbols of success before building the foundation that can support them. Financially successful people often reverse that order. They build the foundation first. Luxury becomes a reward, not a starting point. Think of a tree. When it's young, you don't pick the fruit before it has time to grow. You water it, protect it, and allow it to develop strong roots. Your investments work the same way. If you keep harvesting too early, the tree never reaches its full potential. Every asset you own is like planting another seed. One seed may not change your life, but an entire forest can. Ask yourself one simple question before making any major purchase. Will this item make my future stronger, or will it simply satisfy me for a short moment? That single question can completely change your financial decisions.
Lesson 4. Make your money work for you. Most people work hard for money. But eventually, there comes a point where your money should begin working for you. Imagine hiring employees for a business. At first, you might have only one employee. Over time, you hire 2. Then 5. Then 20. Eventually, the business keeps operating even while you're asleep. Money can work in a very similar way. Every dollar you invest becomes like a tiny employee. Its job is simple: create more dollars. The more employees you have working for you, the less dependent you become on exchanging your own time for income. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistency. Many people underestimate small investments because they focus only on today's results. But wealth is rarely built in giant leaps. It's built through hundreds of ordinary decisions repeated over many years. Think about snow rolling down a mountain. At first, the snowball is tiny. It barely moves. But as it rolls, it gathers more snow. Eventually, it becomes impossible to ignore. Money behaves the same way when it's given enough time to grow. Your first investment may feel insignificant. Your 10th will feel more exciting. Your 100th may completely transform your financial future. The important thing isn't starting with a large amount. The important thing is simply starting.
Lesson 5. Time is your greatest financial advantage. Imagine planting 2 identical trees. One is planted today, the other is planted 10 years later. Even if both receive the same care, sunlight, and water, the first tree will almost always be larger. Why? Because it had one advantage the second tree never had: time. The same principle applies to money. Time allows savings to grow. Time allows investments to recover from setbacks. Time allows compound growth to perform its quiet magic. Many people delay investing because they believe they don't have enough money. They tell themselves they'll start next year, or after the next promotion, or once life becomes less expensive. But the perfect moment rarely arrives. Financial freedom isn't built by waiting for ideal conditions. It's built by taking consistent action with whatever resources you have today. Even small amounts invested regularly can grow into something meaningful over decades. Imagine climbing a mountain. You don't reach the summit with one giant leap. You arrive by taking one step after another. Some steps feel small, some days feel slow, yet every step moves you closer to the top. Your financial journey follows exactly the same pattern. The people who achieve financial independence aren't necessarily the smartest. They are often the ones who simply remained patient long enough for time to reward their discipline.
Transition. So far, we've discovered that wealth begins with the right mindset, that lasting prosperity comes from building assets instead of chasing appearances, and that time is one of the greatest allies an investor can have. But financial success isn't built only by earning and investing. It's also shaped by what happens inside your mind every single day. In the next part, we'll explore why continuous learning, smart decision-making, and emotional discipline are often the invisible forces behind lasting wealth.
Money Mastery, Episode 1 Part 3, Lesson 6. Never stop learning about money. Imagine receiving 2 gifts. The first is a bag filled with $100,000. The second is the knowledge to build wealth for the rest of your life. Which one is truly more valuable? At first, the cash seems like the obvious choice. But history tells a different story. Many lottery winners receive enormous amounts of money, only to lose it within a few years. Why? Because money without knowledge rarely stays where it is. Knowledge, on the other hand, can create wealth again and again. The world is constantly changing. New technologies appear, markets evolve, businesses rise and fall. The people who continue learning are often the ones who continue growing. Financial education doesn't require a university degree. It begins with curiosity. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch educational videos, study successful businesses, learn how investing works, understand budgeting, discover how taxes, inflation, and compound growth affect your money. Every new lesson becomes another tool in your financial toolbox. Imagine trying to build a house with only a hammer. You might eventually succeed, but imagine how much easier it becomes when you also have a saw, a drill, and a measuring tape. Financial knowledge works exactly the same way. The more tools you possess, the more opportunities you can recognize. Never believe you've learned enough. The wealthiest investors in the world continue reading, studying, and adapting. Because the moment learning stops, growth often stops as well.
Lesson 7. Control your emotions before you control your money. Money is rarely just about mathematics. It's about emotions: fear, excitement, greed, impatience, hope, regret. Every financial decision carries an emotional component. Imagine you're watching the stock market during a difficult year. Prices begin to fall, news headlines predict disaster, social media fills with panic. Many people sell everything because they're afraid. Months later, the market begins recovering. Those same people buy back at much higher prices. They sold low, they bought high, not because they lacked intelligence, but because emotions made the decision. Now imagine another investor. Instead of reacting to headlines, they follow a long-term plan. They understand that markets naturally rise and fall. Rather than panicking, they stay patient. Years later, their discipline often produces far better results than emotional reactions ever could. The same principle applies outside investing. People often make emotional purchases after stressful days. They shop to feel better. They spend to impress others. Or they borrow money simply because everyone else seems to be doing the same. But financial confidence grows when decisions are guided by purpose instead of impulse. One useful habit is simple. Whenever you're about to make a major purchase, pause, wait 24 hours, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will this purchase improve my future? Or, am I simply buying a temporary feeling? Sometimes, the most profitable financial decision you'll ever make is the purchase you choose not to make.
Lesson 8. Build more than one source of income. Imagine sitting on a chair with only one leg. Would you feel secure? Probably not. Now imagine a chair with 4 strong legs. It feels stable, reliable, balanced. Your financial life works exactly the same way. Many people depend entirely on one paycheck. If that income suddenly disappears, everything becomes uncertain. Financial resilience comes from building multiple streams of income over time. That doesn't mean working 4 full-time jobs. It means gradually creating additional ways for money to enter your life. Perhaps you invest in dividend-paying companies. Maybe you build an online business. You could create digital products, write a book, start a YouTube channel, develop valuable skills that allow freelance work, or invest in rental properties. Every additional stream makes your financial foundation stronger. Think of a river. A river fed by only one small stream can dry up during difficult seasons. But a river connected to many streams continues flowing even when one source becomes weaker. The same idea applies to your finances. You don't have to create every income stream today. Start with one, then another, then another. Over time, those small streams become a powerful river. And perhaps the greatest benefit isn't simply earning more money. It's gaining peace of mind. Because financial freedom isn't just about wealth. It's about knowing that your future doesn't depend on a single source of income.
Transition. We've now explored the importance of learning continuously, mastering our emotions, and creating multiple streams of income. These lessons provide a strong foundation. But every financial journey still faces one final challenge. How do you stay consistent for years? How do you avoid giving up when progress feels slow? And ultimately, what does true wealth really mean? In the final part of this episode, we'll discover the last two lessons that bring everything together, and reveal why financial freedom is about far more than money alone.
Money Mastery, Episode 1 Part 4, Final, Lesson 9. Think long-term. Imagine standing at the entrance of two different paths. The first path is smooth, exciting, and filled with quick rewards. Every step offers instant gratification. New gadgets, bigger cars, expensive vacations. The satisfaction comes fast, but it fades just as quickly. The second path is different. It's longer, sometimes quieter, sometimes more challenging. Instead of chasing immediate pleasure, every step is an investment in your future. At first, the first path looks far more attractive, but years later, something remarkable happens. The people who chose patience often discover that time has been working quietly on their behalf. The small investments they made have grown. The skills they developed have increased their value. The habits they practiced have become second nature. Meanwhile, those who focused only on today often find themselves starting over again and again. One of the greatest financial mistakes is believing that every decision should produce immediate results. Real wealth doesn't usually arrive with fireworks. It grows silently, like a tree whose roots expand underground long before anyone notices its branches. Every dollar you save, every skill you develop, every wise investment you make, every unnecessary expense you avoid, these actions may seem insignificant today, but together, they shape the person you'll become 10 or 20 years from now. Whenever you're faced with an important financial decision, ask yourself one simple question: will my future self thank me for this choice? That question has the power to change your life.
Lesson 10. Financial freedom is the real goal. Many people believe the purpose of money is to become rich. But wealth itself is not the destination. Freedom is. Think about the happiest people you know. Very few of them measure success only by expensive possessions. Instead, they value something much deeper. The freedom to choose. The freedom to spend time with family. The freedom to pursue meaningful work. The freedom to help others. The freedom to say no to opportunities that don't align with their values. Money is simply a tool. Like a key. By itself, a key has little value. Its purpose is to open doors. Financial freedom opens doors to possibilities that would otherwise remain closed. It gives you choices. It reduces unnecessary stress. It allows you to focus on what truly matters. This doesn't mean life becomes perfect. Everyone faces challenges, but having financial stability gives you more options for responding to those challenges with confidence rather than fear. The greatest investment you can make is not only in your portfolio. It's in the life you're trying to build. Because the ultimate purpose of wealth isn't to own more things. It's to create more meaningful experiences, more memories, more generosity, more peace of mind, and more freedom.
Final thoughts. Let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've shared today. We discovered that wealth begins with mindset. We learned that habits matter more than income. We explored why buying assets before luxury creates stronger financial foundations. We saw how money can become an employee working on your behalf. We learned that time is one of the greatest forces in building wealth. We discovered that financial education never truly ends. We explored the importance of controlling emotions instead of allowing emotions to control financial decisions. We learned why multiple income streams create security. We understood the importance of thinking years ahead instead of only days ahead. And finally, we discovered that the real purpose of money isn't simply to become wealthy. It's to become free. None of these lessons require perfection. You don't need a six-figure salary. You don't need to be a financial expert. You don't need to wait for the perfect opportunity. You simply need to begin. One decision, one habit, one investment, one book, one conversation, one step at a time. Remember, every forest began with a single seed. Every successful business began with a single idea. Every financially independent person once made the decision to stop drifting and start building. Today can be that decision for you.
Call to action. If one lesson resonated with you, share it with someone who could benefit from hearing it. Sometimes, one conversation can change the direction of a life. And before you go, ask yourself this question: What is one financial decision I can make today that my future self will thank me for? Start there, because your journey toward financial freedom doesn't begin next year. It begins today. Thank you for watching. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building the future you deserve.